Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kemi. I've been away for a long while now, and I'm so sorry. I got a lot of questions, emails, messages, and I'm grateful because a lot of people reached out to me um, through my inbox on YouTube and even like on some WhatsApp group, and they asked me a couple of questions. And like people like, I'm sorry that for the late reply, I've been really busy. I wouldn't ignore anybody's messages intentionally. I've just been up and about, but now I'm fully like I decided to take this time to come back and answer whatever questions like you have. And I want to talk about something that a lot of people have reached out to me about. So, so today I'm going to be talking about, I hope I can keep this brief. I'm going to be talking about the living caregiver immigration pathway. So apparently there's a new immigration pathway made by CIC, which is called the live-in caregiver. So it's a permanent residency program, but you come in as a caregiver. So a lot of people have asked me, after I made a video, I mentioned that I was working as a caregiver when I was in school. And like it was kind of like my part-time job anyways. So a lot of people have asked me, oh, you mentioned this, okay, can you tell us more? Which, funny enough, I never knew people would really look into that permanent residency pathway. But it's surprising because when I went to the clinic here in Nigeria for like my medicals, a lot of people I saw were actually coming for the like doing their permanent residency through this living caregiver, because it has, and especially they were mostly women, but like I saw a man too. But like a lot of people are actually going through this path, and it's funny because this pathway just started this year, so it's a new program. I think they introduced earlier this year by the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. So first of all, let me just get it straight, like what is the caregiver? So caregivers, we've been called so many things. So we have, can be called caregiver, can be called PSW, which is like a personal support worker, can be called like a PCA, which is like personal care aid. So it depends on your agency and where you are. You get to be called like different things, but basically the job is about, like it says, caregiver, right? So it's kind of like in the medical field, kind of like in the social work field, but basically what you're doing is caregiver is someone who provides like assistance with activities of daily living for people for mostly seniors and people who cannot do other stuff by themselves. So some caregivers work in the hospitals, while some work in nursing homes, while some work like you go to people's home. Like as a PSW caregiver, like I used to, like I had clients, you go to the home. So that is what you should know about caregiving. Caregiving is just about assisting people like seniors, helping them with, when I mean activities of daily living, like sometimes maybe a sponge bath, sometimes just helping them prepare light meals, sometimes light housekeeping, or just interacting with them, talking to them and keeping them company, so stuff like that. So that's what it is. So a lot of people like, oh, they don't know the work, but they've googled it, and I mean that pathway looks lucrative. Like honestly, I really do not know a lot about the pathway. Like I said, it's really new. I only looked at it a couple of times. I got a bit of information. Maybe I'll probably just discuss that at the ending, but it's not any information that I can give you like credible, because I really have no much information. But this is the request that was made to talk about the job and what it entails. So I have experience in the job, so I'm going to talk about the job. So as a caregiver, to me, it's not a really tedious work. Like it's not a really tedious job. It can be emotionally draining depending on how some people get attached to like clients, and maybe the client dies or whatever. But basically, in the day of a caregiver, especially if you're someone who will be working more of home care, that is going to people's home to assist them. So on a regular day, you could have clients, you could have one client, you could have two clients, you could have a couple of clients, and you could work 40 hours, 20 hours, 60 hours, just depending on your company and like the amount of shifts to get. So like on a regular day, you could go to a client. Let me say there's a Mrs. A. So you could go to Mrs. A's house, you just give her breakfast, something like toast, coffee. You just watch television, you help her do light housekeeping, like just help her, like if you want to dust or sweep, or just help her with the bathroom. And then some clients require like sponge bath, so you could just give them like a clothes bath, like you use the clothes, to help them clean up and everything. But like basically it's just like if you have like your granny in your house, someone who is indisposed in her, like you can just help the person. So like those are the so I'm just gonna go to straight to the pros. So those are like an overview. Sometimes you help them get their meds. You don't give them, you don't administer the meds. You can just help them get it. You give them, sometimes you help them run errands. Like you can help them get groceries, get something by the corner store, stuff like that. Help them get lunch. So let me just go straight to the pros of the job. So the pros of the job is that, I mean, you don't really do much. You can have like 4 hours and you just get there, give this client food and something. You talk with the client. Some clients, they just want someone to interact with, and you just talk with the client, check on the client. It's an easy peasy job at times. You can just sit down, and you just do what you need to do. Help them out. What else? What television? Do your housekeeping, and just when it's your time is up, you go. It's chilled like that. So it's chilled sometimes. So, and another pro is like sometimes when clients cancel, you still get paid. I don't know if this depends on agency, but most home care work I know is like sometimes most times when they cancel, you still get paid for whatever hours. So let's say we're going to have 4 hours with Mrs. A, and you're already on your way or you're in the house, and they just call you, oh, this client has canceled, you get paid. So stuff like that. I mean, on a regular job, like for example Tim Hortons, I doubt they always cancel shift because Tim Hortons is open 24 hours, or like a fast food or any other thing. Second, what is another pro of the job is that it's flexible. So someone like me as a student, it fits my schedule, because I could go, I could just say, oh, I have 12 hours and this is my schedule. I'm not free on Monday, I'm not free on Tuesday, I'm not free on Wednesday, or so, and they would actually like place you according to how it fits. Another thing is like with flexibility is that even when you don't have a shift, you can always call, because there's always a client who needs someone, and maybe just to do laundry, like you can just whatever, you can just call in and you say, oh yeah, and you could go and get so it's that flexible. So I'll advise if like you're a student, or maybe you just moved into Canada, or you're a working mom and you have kids, it's a job that I'll say, okay, for a start, even if you want to go into something corporate later, you can take up the job because it's flexible. It works around your time, especially if you have a very good company, but like it's a really flexible job. So that is another pro. So what should I add as the other pro? Well, yeah, you get to meet very interesting people, great people. You learn about the Canadian culture through them. So like working with different people in their homes, I've learned a lot about Canadian eating habits, and you learn new things. Like they say, we learn new things every day. So I've been able to learn a lot from people. Going to their house, seeing them watch certain things or do certain things. So it's a way of, I mean, if you don't have friends in the community, it's not bad having seniors in the community, because seniors are really friendly. So it helped me to connect more to people when I was in St. John. So I was able to connect to people there, and like one person knew one person I knew, and like that networking was really great with the job. So I'll just go straight to the cons. What are the cons of the job? Sometimes it is, you can have burnout, especially if you have shift. So what I mean by burnout is like, maybe you have this client, let's say you have client Z, and client Z, has maybe, issues, maybe it's on oxygen mask, has diabetes, is incontinent and stuff like that. So, at times you have a client like that, and maybe a client you need to lift, you need to transfer, who needs a lot of work, all this kind of clients, you may feel emotionally drained because you will always be on your toes and you're always doing a lot of bending, and it's really straining. And sometimes you may have a couple of clients that are like that, and then you need to give them perineal care, or some people don't like stuff like that. So that's one of the cons. People feel like it's too touchy, it's too mushy for them. So that's one of like the cons. Second con is that, I mean, home care has been, or caregiver has I've always had this issue of unions. Like most home care jobs, I don't know if it's my path, like we're not unionized or something. So the pay was like, I mean, contrary to like a lot of work you put in, most times it was okay, but it could have been more. So that is another thing. Another thing about caregiving, especially if you're going to be in home care, is that it gets tiring if you have to go from one client's house to another client's house. especially when you're not mobile, like if you're not driving. Because I mean, sometimes you just feel, oh, I'm used to this client's routine, but then you go to another client and this client has another routine, and then you go to another client and then this client has another routine, and then you go to the other client, and what you can do in this client's house you can't do in that client's house, because this client doesn't like you washing their clothes, washing stuff like that, just different thing. But then again, since this pathway is mainly for living caregivers, I guess you'll be living with the person, so you wouldn't necessarily need to go from one client to another client, except maybe your PRO timeline is up and then you move to like another job, another field in the whole caregiving cycle. And then another con of the job is that depending on what you want to do later in life, depending on what you want to do later on in life, it could be like, well, like it depends. Like if you're gonna work another job, like it should, if you're gonna be on another job, what I mean is like if you're gonna take two jobs, I mean, caregiving should be like maybe something you could do on the weekend, because, like I said, it can be emotionally draining at times, especially where where you deal with a client you have to walk a lot with. And another con would be like emotional attachment. So at times you have a client who, I know you're not supposed to get attached on the job, but like at times you just have a client that you've always been taking care of, and you go wake up, you go to that client, and then tomorrow you just wake up and you say, hey, that, oh, this person is dead. I mean, even if this person is not related to you, there's this kind of feeling of sadness for a while. So at times you have to deal with losing a client that maybe you really have come to know, not like your friend. Your client's not your friend, but like that is just a feeling. Like when you get on the job, you'll know. So basically, like those are the pros and the cons. All in all, I would say like it's not a bad job, especially if you want to be on a flexible schedule and you want to do other things. Then you can most definitely take the job if you're up for it. But you need to be strong too, like, because you're obviously thinking of someone who needs help, so you don't want to be acting all dead, because acting like you need help too. So that's just about it. So all in all, I recommend it for like students, or if you just moved to Canada and pending a job, or for like work or moms, like busy moms who have kids and everything. So you may not always have time, to go to have a 9 to 5, because with this one you can decide to work 9 to 1 and you just go home and wait for your kids to come back by 3:30 or something. So it's flexible, and maybe if you just want to do your own business on the side, it's something you can also do as well. So it's not a bad job, but it's just that you need to get ready to have burnout at times and emotionally drained. But I mean, if you have a good if you get a good company, maybe like Bayshore Health or something, I mean, you could get benefits with your work, like, insurance, like dental, eye care, bus pass, and the whole 9 yards or whatever. So that's just about it. And then in summary, I'll just talk about the pathways. So I just noticed that there are three new pathways. So one is the live-in caregiver. The second one, I think, is the child home support, which is kind of like nanny. And I think the third one is about people who are setting special medical needs or something. But all in all, it's all has a little bit of caregiving inside it. So what I noticed that is a new pathway started this year, and last time I checked on CIC side, I'm seeing that it's better for most people to apply for the child home support, which is kind of like a nanny. They have a bunch of requirements for this living caregiver, like 2 years experience on the job, and 2 years experience on the job, maybe writing the IELTS and some other things. Like I couldn't get a clear view. So before I just decided to make this video, talk about the job first. Talk about the pros, the cons, and what the job is about, because that was mainly the request I was getting. And I'm very sorry that it is coming this late. I have been so busy, like I said. Please do not hold this against me, please. Okay, so like I looked through it. So the living caregiver, the child home support, and the caregiver for people on special medical needs. So basically they have the same requirements, and I think they only take applications in June, or they stop application in June. Like I sent a mail to CIC, to ask better, to clarify some people's doubts. So I sent a mail on behalf of some people, because I think maybe they just answer me faster, I don't know. So I sent a mail and to get whether to know more, like things like, because people ask me, okay, do I need to have a job? Do I need to contact an agency and have a job with them before I come to Canada? So like those are the things I sent a mail to CIC about. So when I get my reply, my response, I will let y'all know. and about the nanny and everything. I'll let you all know, because like I didn't know a lot of people were taking this pathway serious. I was like, when I started leaving Kenya, because people do this one, but like a lot of people, when I went to IOM in Ikeja, Lagos here, I saw that a lot of people were doing this, and I was like, wow. Then it is really, I was surprised because it was a job that I know I had experience in. So I was like, okay. So a couple of people got my number and on my YouTube page, and I just got some requests anyway. So this is it. So I guess hopefully my next video I would be talking about the pilot program, basically mainly the Atlantic immigration pilot program, which is for like the Atlantic province, which is New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador. So I would do a research on that. But for now, I'm really busy, and maybe I will do that video next year. I have a lot on my table this year, as it is. So I hope this video helps you, and I hope I'm speaking loud enough, because the last time people said I'm not talking loud enough, but now I'm in my house, so here in Nigeria we can shout as we want. So I hope I'm talking as loud as you want this to be. And if you have any questions, comments, or inquiries, please just leave your comments, questions, like in the box, and I will answer you as soon as possible. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like this video, and I still remain your very loyal updater, Kevin. So bye.